Welcome to Out of the Blue B, number 108. I want to point out that though this is called Neo-Swedenborgianism, I don't actually read from Swedenborg. Uh, I read from people who were influenced by Swedenborg. So a lot of these ideas trace themselves back to Swedenborg. But I read from this book, which is, I'll link below, A Wanderer in the Spirit Lands. And if you want to get into what I'm doing, if you think you might want to become a Neo-Swedenborgian, link this book below. This is the first book you should read if you want to be a Neo-Swedenborgianism. I often talk about J. Hewitt Mackenzie, but that would be the second book. A Wanderer in the Spirit Lands will get your foot in the door. Read this book, and if you like it, come back. So I'm going to read off of page 195, but I will add that if you want to hear about Swedenborg, there's another show called Off the Left Eye. Off the Left Eye reads from Swedenborg. Off the Left Eye is Swedenborgian. So Swedenborgianism is a branch of Christianity. And if you actually want to hear about Swedenborg directly, look up Off the Left Eye because they do a very good job. What I'm doing is called Neo-Swedenborgianism, and it is a next step. It is not Swedenborgianism. It is something different. And this Wanderer of the Spirit in the Spirit Lands is a book that is influenced by Swedenborgian ideas, but it is not Christian and it is not Swedenborgian. It is what would be called spiritualism, and it's the primary book in my philosophy, which is called Neo-Swedenborgianism. Okay, so that's a little background. I'll link Off the Left Eye down below, and I'll link this down below. Now, I'm going to read from page 195, but there's a point I'm getting to where in the end of the passage I'm going to read, he says, it is in this counterpart of that city. So they're in the counterpart city of Venice. And this is exactly what I'm saying. And this was 1897, so this predates J. Hewitt Mackenzie. But J. Hewitt Mackenzie also talks about these counterparts of the cities in the sky. So I'm in Chicago. Therefore, there is a heavenly Chicago and a hell Chicago. Because this, I've often been talking about the spirit spheres going up in 7 layers. Well, this also has layers going down. Okay? So, this is a trip down. And this is a faithful friend talking to Francezzo. Francezzo has a spirit guide in the spirit land named Faithful Friend. He's talking about this person they're going to see had haunted a woman who betrayed him. He was dead, and he came back to haunt her, and he haunted her so successfully that she eventually died of shock. And page 195, she just died of shock. Benedetto is the character here. Faithful Friend is talking about Benedetto. He comes back, haunts this woman, destroys her life from the spirit world. Eventually, the shock kills her, which makes Benedetto a murderer. Faithful Friend says, quote, then a horror of himself seized upon him. He loathed the deed he had done. He had intended to kill her, and then when the spirit left the body, to drag it down with him, and to haunt and torment it forever, so that on neither side of the grave should she know rest. But now his only thought was to escape from himself and the horror of his success. For all good was not dead in this man, and the shock which had killed the Marchesa had awakened him to the true nature of his revengeful feelings. Then he fled from the earth down and down, even to this city of hell, the fit dwelling place for such as he. It was in this place that I found him, said Faithful Friend, and was able to help the now repentant man and to show him how he might best undo the wrong he had done. He awaits now the coming of this woman he so loved and hated, in order that he may ask her to forgive him, and that he may forgive her himself. She has also been drawn to this sphere, for her own life was very guilty, and it is in this counterpart of that city, Venice, it is in this counterpart of that city which saw the history of their earthly love, that they will meet again, and that is why he awaits her upon this bridge, where in the past she has so often met him. The bridge, it's the same bridge from Venice, the earthly Venice. The same bridge is in the hell Venice. So there are counterparts of these cities, both upwards and downwards, in this spirit sphere structure that I've been describing. Francezzo starts at the bottom and he goes up. Francezzo visits all kinds of different places. And then later, in 1916, J. Hewitt Mackenzie published a map which describes these places. And then later, in 1958, the Van Allen belts were discovered, which matched the map. So this is the Van Allen belts. Thanks. See you.